breaking the law.
No, where are we?
I don't know.
We're heading up to the OG off-season spot right now because we are currently in New Hampshire, and we're going to talk about the history of the streetcar. So what better place to do that than the area or the video that kind of started it all for the 1JZ. Still some fresh marks up here. Some people have been getting through the gate and coming to have some fun. Looks pretty good. We even got some outside line running here. All right, to give you the full history of the streetcar or the 1JZ car, we have to kick it back all the way to 2007 in my second full-time season in Formula Drift, where I drove a candy apple red S13 coupe, SR20 powered. It made about 390 horsepower at the wheels. That car I had run all year in FD, crashed it at Irwindale pretty good, like banged it up pretty bad where the frame was damaged. And then we pulled it out to let a friend of mine use that was in a really hard spot to try to qualify for his FD license. He ended up crashing it because the thing just never went back straight enough. So I had moved, I was living in California at the time, and then I decided to move back to New Hampshire, and I stripped the entire car apart and used all those parts to build the 1JZ car. And I got a new chassis, which is a S13 hatchback, which what you guys know as the 1JZ S13. And I put all of those parts from the 2007 FD car onto that car. It was originally SR20 powered, had a GT 3071 turbo, CNC ported head. Like the SR that I had was super sick. That was the original setup. So it had like all just adjustable arms, nothing crazy for angle kit, just like Tane inner tie rod spacers, pretty basic. So that was like the most badass SR20 that I have ever owned. The thing sounded super sick. And also that is the same engine that I had for the original Off-Seasons video. So I'm gonna take you guys through a couple areas that we're at now of the original Off-Season spot. So this is the entrance, the first turn ripping. So I had originally found this spot through my friend Dave Shoemaker, who is also my tattoo artist, and he, from tattooing people around the area, he found out about this place and then he told me about it. I looked at it on Google Maps and I was like, holy crap, like an abandoned old college campus, and there was nothing up here. We're like a half mile into the woods, following the main road up, and then it just starts spanning out to like parking lots, sidewalks, light poles are in, the sewage system is in, like, and everything was just overgrown and looking super sick. So I knew I had to film my first really sick video here because this spot was just too good not to. So we actually have, through the business that I worked for at the time, we actually had a ton of keys, like master lock keys. And I came up here one day preemptively before we were going to film the video, figuring out how we're actually going to get in here. And I went through like the 100 master lock keys that I have, and one of them ended up opening a master lock on the gate. So I knew I could get in here. So when we came the morning of, we woke up at like 3 in the morning, got here before daylight, planned the entire video out in the morning, started filming around 7 a.m. when the light came up. Had an epic day. It was super sketchy, but it was an epic day for sure. So they filled this lot in with a bunch of aggregate and shit from another job site, which kind of sucks. That was the lot that had the tracking shot and had all the big tall grass in it. And then you see the shot, which I'll show you behind me when I get to a better spot. This is the spot where I came shooting through and scraping a bumper on the ground and right into this other lot right beside me, which we'll walk into now. And this lot is also partly filled in with a bunch of material. Got some shred marks in here. This is where I came in, kind of entered like this and then swung it back all the way down. And then we set a camera up on the top of a ladder, and that's where I came around that tree for that nice little donut and then exited on the way out. So one thing, you can hear a helicopter up there. One thing that actually happened during the filming of Off Seasons was there was like a helicopter like that in the sky right now that saw us screwing around down here, and he actually started hovering and circling above us, and it was like the National Guard or something. Scared the absolute shit out of me because obviously we weren't supposed to be here, and I thought cops were going to be coming and everything, and we had like 3 more shots to film, so I was freaking out. We were rushing, trying to get everything done as fast as possible. So the last like 3 shots you see was us scrambling, trying to get everything done, and then I just jetted straight out of here, straight back to my house, and everything worked out obviously, but it was definitely a scary, sketchy moment for sure. So this spot is way more grown in, might even be hard to remember it from the original Off Seasons video. Came right into this turn, and this spot is also super grown in now with all these little trees coming in. This was way wider originally. We're just seeing this stuff kind of on the trees now. This property actually went up for auction last, like I think in 2018, and I saw it listed. The asking price was like started at like $1 million or $2 million or something crazy. So that was never anything I was going to be able to afford, unfortunately, but it looks like the town bought it back and now the land is now conservation.
Someone tell us.
I'm not sure. OG Off Seasons. I always wanted to come back here and film a second video, and we tried to film a second video here, but I couldn't get a hold. Well, actually I got a hold of the guy that owned it at the time, but he was not down. Just like a real uppity real estate guy, businessman, and he wanted nothing to do with drifting or cars on his property. Even though I came in and told him I had a $2 million or whatever $5 million insurance policy for the day for coverage and all that shit, he just was not down. So unfortunately I couldn't make it happen, but I'm still here.
Breaking the law.
It's still here right now. There's just a little less of it to use because those lots are filled in. This is the last shot in the Off Seasons video. We have the water tower behind me, and I kind of just shred a couple gears on the way out. So unfortunately, maybe 6 to 8 months after this video was filmed, the engine, the SR that I had in it, had dropped the valve, and it just demoed the entire engine. Like, ruined the head, ruined the piston, ruined the cylinder. Like, the thing was just totally smoked. The only thing salvageable was the crank and the Tomei rods, because the thing had Tomei rods, Tomei pistons, Tomei cams, Super Tech valve train, and you know, metal head gasket, the rest of the 9. And it sucks, man, because I was like a one-off CNC ported head, and back in like 2006, 2007, you didn't even hear of CNC ported heads, and I had one of the first ones for an SR20, and I think that's what gave it that really cool exhaust note, along with the Tomei manifold that I had on it. But it is what it is. And that's when we decided to do the 1JZ swap because I had purchased a car that I was going to part out from a friend, and it had a 1JZ swap in it. And when my SR went to shit, I didn't expect that to happen. So the next best thing was like, well, I already have a 1JZ that's already swapped into an S13. So I'm just going to take that entire kit and put it into the car and just, you know, something new. 6-cylinder, never had an inline 6-cylinder until that point. The thing sounded absolutely bitchin'. And you guys know the end, the story from there. We're going to take you to Offseasons 2 in a little bit.